Okay, so the heading for the book is Gan Barimasu. I hope it doesn't sound like Gyan Bhatrietu, to the Indian minds. Anyways, on a lighter note, it is the power of patience and perseverance. On that note, actually, on a lighter note, intelligence and learning is a great skill, So, people who are kind of commenting on others and they keep telling other people that you got this habit of lecturing or giving gyan and stuff like that, take it as a compliment because you're in a position to do that because you're intelligent. So, coming back to the point about the trains and stuff, so we're talking about Japan and China. So, it's a fantastic read because it's talking about a continuous self improvement where you can actually become the hero you've always wanted to be. It is also about being realistic and achievable than a comic book or a movie, because real life is not a movie. Real life is not this thing, a joke or something, So this is about simple goals lead to great achievements. So he's talking about the 10,000 hour rule. So inspired by Japan, inspired from China, they've got this thing about 100-year plan. And 100-year plan means that the Japanese have a bullet train that will connect Tokyo with Nagoya, that is 286 kilometers in less than 40 minutes, which is going to be operational in 2027. So, for people who are normally criticizing and looking down upon your own country, it's something to be really proud of, because if you were to be in Europe, if you were to be in other countries, you're going to end up paying through your nose for one city travel, because I believe and I'm told and I know for sure through experiences that one trip means 800 rupees one side. That's for one person, and in India you have it at 80%. So the point is this, that not everything is planned, but however, in Japan, what they do is they plan everything they plan everything down to the last detail. So let's say till 2027, they've already planned what they're going to do, but this is keeping in mind using the present skills and present systems in place and stuff to reach Osaka in 2045. And it is calculated that by the year 2120, this investment in technology will no longer carry a debt, but will begin to make a profit both for Japan Railways and for the Japanese government. In a nutshell, they've basically planned for more than 100 years, and by actually accelerating their personal bullet train, we can always understand, it is very imperative to understand that the final destination is going to be leading us to stations within 25 to 40 minutes. So now that's super efficiency, that's super fast, that's really like, uh, working on the idea that if you do something diligently and with patience and you look into the micro details and the minutest of the details and stuff of a project or of a idea or something, you're going to be saving a lot of time of yourself and of your country. The efficiency is going to go up and stuff, and it's not going to be like any other country. Let's talk about our country first, where we are not meaning to criticize anybody, but this is a reality. We've got like a system in place and stuff, but because of hurdles like pollution and traffic and everything, it's not the population, but it's mostly to do with the number of cars on the road and stuff. It's the number of people who are driving on this. So this odd and even thing has not been working well. It's not a great bet to even look at now, but the point is to have other infrastructures in place where connectivity is really fast. And I have traveled from my place, which is Delhi NCR, to the other side of Greater Noida. It's taken me only at like what, 50 minutes at a point of time, when actually the driving time is sometimes more than an hour and a half or 2 hours, depending on the location I'm going to. So in a nutshell, we need to appreciate what the people of our country are doing for us, the ministers are doing for us, engineers are doing for us, people are working really hard behind the scene and stuff. And we all know it that Mr. Modi is already projecting till about 2047 what is to be done. And we have some great leaders. I've had the honor of listening to most of them, the top 10 leaders, and interacting with them and stuff. And I know for sure that we have a great plan before us. And we really need to focus on empowering the leaders, because they can't do this alone. They need the support of everybody and anybody. And it's for sure going to be improving a lot of stuff in our country and the mindset of a lot of people, and adding a lot of like progression and stuff like that. So the takeaway is actually to plan 10,000 hours in the real world of business, in the real world of design, in the real world of startups, in the real world of doing stuff at home or at office or whatever, you got to have a plan which has got 10,000 hours for sure. And also in that plan, you got to have some nice ikigai habits, because it can't just be about work. So ikigai habits, you all know it by now. I'm sure you've been following me. So let me remind you, these are basically habits which add joy and happiness to your life. If it's not work, it can be sports, it can be art, it can be music, it can be drumming, it can be watching movies, it can be composing your own songs, it can be exploring a city and a place, it can be exploring, the city, going on a tour, going for photography. It can be spending time in a farmhouse with animals, looking after them and stuff. And of course, there are other things. And the point is, people usually say we are short on time. It's not that people are short on time, it's just that they don't know how to kind of schedule themselves and plan themselves. So, people who are lucky to have secretaries and stuff, their lives are scheduled and they are planned by their secretaries, but there are a lot of people who do their time planning every day on their own. So that's a great art and a great skill to have. So let's say you have, going by this book, I would say you have 8 hours a day and 5 weeks. You multiply it by 5 years, you have 4 hours a day and 5 days. You multiply it by 10 years, you have 2 hours a day into 5 weeks, which is 20 years, 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, 40 years. So as the number of hours reduced because you spent a number of years on that, you will see that you're going to be actually mastering a certain sport or a certain art or a hobby, because you've been spending a lot of time before on that, and as you're spending more time on it, you're improving, you're learning the skills even better. So your participation in certain stuff which you were doing for longer time is going to go down, your quality is going to improve. So planning yourself is a very important tool in day-to-day life, and also sticking to it, because as you have your passion, or you have a ikigai, or let's say you have a challenge of reaching somewhere on time and stuff, then you have to understand that these are basically opportunities in a nutshell, or a blessing, that because you spend your time doing so many things and charting the course of the day, you're actually going to invariably end up being more efficient and stuff. We all have challenges, we all have the same days, we all have the same schedules, we all have the same family concerns, we are all in the same situation. So it's no big deal, it doesn't take, it's not rocket science to plan your day and stuff. If you can see how the flow of the day is going and stuff, and you're flexible about it, you're not stuck on a routine, you're not stagnated, you're not over disciplined, because sometimes you got to tell someone, listen, let's just meet up at this time, and the person will say, no, I can't, because I got to go here, I got to go there. So sometimes when you make a plan with such people, they're not flexible. So great idea is to be flexible, to be available. If you're all working and if you're all doing stuff, it's not because we want to spend maximum time in the office, it's also because we have a life of our own, and we want to enjoy, and we want to make the best of it. So whether you're working or not, whether you're doing an important role or not, what's really crucial and important is to kind of find joy and happiness every day in whatever you do. So let's say for example, I've been in a meeting since morning till 12 o'clock till about 2 o'clock. I've come back and I've taken a break for an hour or so. I've had my first cup of coffee and stuff, and then I've chilled out a little bit, I've read up a little bit, I've kind of scheduled myself what I want to do, where I want to go, how I want to go. I've touched base with my friends and my other acquaintances and stuff, so I know what I'm going to do on the weekend. So it doesn't take rocket science to sit at the end of the day or the starting of the day to plan. It's all right if you're in it's all right if you're in an organized space like an office and you're reporting into a boss, or you're a boss yourself and stuff. That's the way it works. But when you got your own stuff to do, and you're doing a lot of other things also, you got to be flexible around it, and that is what it is. Solutions come to you when you're a little flexible and not stuck, you're not stagnated. You don't work your brain as per the clock and stuff. Instead of that, you use your own brain to do your own planning. And Japan and China are doing some great work, so maybe we can learn from those countries, and we can also kind of be thankful to what the world is bringing to us in terms of technology, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of convenience and stuff, and in terms of saving your money, in terms of saving your time. And there are some historic breakthroughs which are